The Sacramento Kings were host to the big rookie, Victor Wembanyama. And the Kings showed who the veterans are. And the Kings showed who the vets are. Did you see that? Did you see how Domantas Sabonis was sick and played anyway and ended up with another triple-double? In Sacramento, the Kings were able to defeat the San Antonio Spurs 127-122. The Kings are now 32-23, and the San Antonio Spurs are now 11-45 on the season, which firmly plants the Spurs 15th place in the Western Conference, and the Sacramento Kings are currently in 8th place and are 3 games above the Lakers, who are in 9th, and 3.5 games above the Warriors, who are in 10th. And we are a half a game behind the Suns and the Mavericks for 6th place. It's a very close race right now, guys. All these games matter. Today is February 23rd, 2024. Y'all back? We back. Y'all back? We definitely back. And I'm glad you're back as well. Hopefully you're here for the whole video. I got some interesting stuff to talk about, and I want to thank you for joining me. It's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, and I'm back at you with another episode of the King's Morning App. Midday Cup of Joe with Jay.
Ah! I love it.
Yeah, I got the J Cup. Got the J Cup. Got the J Cup. And today is Friday. End of the work week. Friday. I don't know what I'm going to call Friday, but it is the end of the work week. So we'll call it that. End of the work week Friday. So my cup of Joe for today is the Kings had a good victory against the team that you guys always know I say it's a team they should beat, The Kings have gave us some letdowns this season here and there. They didn't lose to one of the worst teams like they did in Detroit, and they looked good. I mean, the Kings looked good. Sabonis was sick, and he still was out there playing. I don't know if he was getting everybody else sick, but he had a triple-double, okay? And De'Aaron Fox scoring over 25 points. And he also let us know recently that he does have a shoulder injury, and it was good to get some rest after All-Star break. And they looked like it. They looked like they were rested. They looked like they were ready to go and continue this playoff push that they're on. All of these games versus these Western Conference teams are very critical, so they need to keep going at it like this. Every team means something right now. Every team, especially against Western Conference teams. So good on the Kings. That's my cup of Joe. 1 creamer, no sugar. Quick stats. I'm going to show you guys these stats real quick. All right, for the Spurs, we had Devin Vassell go off for 32 points. Now, this team is full of guys that can score. A lot of new guys, young guys kind of fighting for that #1 spot. I think we all know Victor Wembanyama is the #1 guy here. He was the #1 draft pick. He's a 7-foot forward that scores from inside and outside. So, I mean, come on, he's a unicorn, and he is they're expecting him to be the face of the league. coming up here. Devin Vassell, they found a guy that can score at 2 guard, 32 points. And this team had 6 guys in double figures. So they're spreading the ball around. It scored 122 points. Second leading scorer, Victor with 19. Jeremy Sochan with 16 points. And off the bench, Keldon Johnson with a big 18 points. Rebounds was pretty much owned by Victor Wembanyama, and Jeremy Sochan pitched in with 8 rebounds as well. Assists, Trey Jones, the point guard, with 9, Devin Vassell, 7. And for the Kings also had 5 guys in double figures, which usually bodes well for a good night. 4 guys with 20 points, which means they were clicking offensively. They scored 127 points. Leading scorer, our guy, De'Aaron Fox, second leading scorer, Domantas Sabonis with 22, Kevin Huerter, and our dog, Malik Monk, came off the bench and also had 21 points. And as I said earlier, Domantas Sabonis with another triple-double, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, most rebounds, most assists on the team. Captain Sabonis just out there putting in work. Field goal percentages were pretty basic, pretty average, 55% for the Kings. 3-point percentage was decent, 39%. San Antonio had 44, so they were shooting pretty well. Kings had 2 more threes than them, though. Free throw percentage was 71%, which is really, really okay. In my opinion, is bad, but San Antonio shot just as bad, even a little worse. Kings with 29 assists, Spurs with 37 assists. Points in the paint was about even. Most of the team stats were just about even. The game was pretty close the whole time. The Spurs were even leading in the second quarter, and in the end of the game, the Kings went ahead and pulled away. Eye test. Yeah, eye test. I'm gonna do a Kings eye test. So watching the game, I mean, it kind of made you nervous a little bit here and there because the game was so close for most of the game. The Kings were even losing the game in the second quarter. So it just kind of made you say, hey, what's going on, guys? Come on. This team is last place in the Western Conference. Shouldn't you be pulling away? But my answer to that is this is an NBA team. All these guys are NBA teams, and they all have the same 5 positions. Some of the teams may be younger than others, but all of these teams are NBA-equipped teams that can beat you on any given night if they're playing the right way. With that being said, in this scoring NBA that we have nowadays, the Kings were able to hold off the San Antonio Spurs in the end. They were able to close out the game. They were able to close out the fourth quarter with the victory. They played enough defense and got enough offense to get the victory in this game. They played their game with Domantas Sabonis kind of anchoring the offense at the top of the key, getting good screens, getting good cuts. De'Aaron Fox driving to the basket, doing a great job scoring and going to the basket and kicking out, playing that 2-man game with Domantas Sabonis. And they played how we normally see the Kings play. They played Kings-style basketball. They looked like themselves tonight. And a few other guys came in off the bench and helped out. Chris Duarte was in for a while. Trey Lyles came in, did his usual work. Keegan Murray had a good 16 points. Harrison Barnes still plays. He only played 17 minutes, but he played some decent minutes at the end of the game and played some good defense and got a couple boards and shots. So I think the biggest thing missing from Harrison Barnes' game this year is he's probably not driving to the basket as much as he was last year. He's not getting foul calls because he's not being aggressive towards the basket. I remember there was a lot of times when Harrison Barnes last year, the Kings weren't doing so well or needed some scoring. He would get the ball and he would just go to the basket. He would drive to the basket, do some type of post move, or just go straight to the basket and get foul called at perfect time when they needed some free throws or something like that. And he's not doing that as much this year, so his scoring is down. But other than that, the Kings played well. They played Kings basketball, which is cohesively their center anchor at the top of the key with De'Aaron Fox driving to the hole, being that athletic beast that he is, and our 3-point shooters hitting for the most part. And that's my eye test. Bottom line, the Kings morning after. Bottom line. Today's bottom line is kind of, as I was saying earlier, the Kings really need to take this victory against this lower Western Conference Division team and let it propel them into more victories and just keep their eye on these standings. They need to pay attention to these standings and really take every game seriously. They can't be playing down to the level of the competition. They really need to be making a push for the playoffs, and they need to be pushing for a good position in the playoffs. They don't want to be in a playoff game or fighting all the way up the playoffs. They're going to want that 6th spot or 5th spot, and it's attainable. It's just accessible. The Kings just have to close out games, and they have to get victories. They have to take all these games seriously, and they can't play down to the level of competition. They can't have any lackadaisical games. I know they might have been getting tired towards the middle of the season, and they needed that All-Star break, but they need to make that playoff push right now and play as hard as they can every game. And that's my bottom line. Next up is a very big game against the Los Angeles Clippers. As you all know, the Clippers made that big trade and attained Harden. They have Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and they have off the bench Russell Westbrook, and they have a decent center in Zubac and PJ Tucker, who is a rebounding power forward who can also shoot threes. This team is now very well assembled with James Harden playing point guard. They have four all-star level players on this team, if you consider Westbrook an all-star, which, I mean, his plays declined a little, but I mean, he's still a very good player. And this team looks very good. They are a bunch of guys that are all from LA, and they really play well together. They even have some of the pundits and guys in the media predicting them to win the championship now as the #1 team in the whole NBA. So, which I think is going a little far, a little too quick, but this team is good, and the Kings did show that they had a little trouble against them last time they played. This game is on Sunday, February 25th in LA, 6:30 p.m. our time. So tune in for that. Check it out. And I will be back the next day after that with another review for you guys. So please come back and check me out. Subscribe so that you can see that video when it comes out. And 3 keys to this game for me would be not let James Harden go crazy at threes. Keep his scoring down. If you can keep James Harden to under 15 points, I think you'd be doing very good in that respect. These guys also have Terrence Mann, who's a good 6 man. All right, I'm not sure if he's starting. He might be starting. I'm not sure. They also have some guys that are coming off the bench that are not bad. Norman Powell, Mason Plumlee. They have some support off of the bench. So this is a team full of all-star caliber players, to be honest with you. And Kawhi Leonard is, a mid-range monster. Can't let Kawhi Leonard get into the paint and get those easy turnarounds that he likes. You're gonna have to put your body on him, try to keep him out the paint as much as you can. You can't let Zubac get a bunch of offensive rebounds. Paul George, being the shooter that he is, you obviously need to close out on him. And you can't let Russell Westbrook come off the bench driving to the rack. Somebody's gonna have to put a body on him, put a chest on him, and make things hard for him. Not let him just do whatever he wants. And another key I would say is to kind of just keep their big 3 down in scoring as much as you can. Keep Zubac out the paint, and don't let Russell Westbrook come into the game doing whatever he wants. Those are my keys to the victory. Betting lines, the game is on Sunday, so they don't have a betting line for that game yet. The betting lines won't be out for that game until the day of the game, so after midnight, I believe. But if you want to do sports betting, if you want to bet on games, use Bet US. That's what I use, Bet US. The link is in the description down below, and I wasn't able to sports bet with some of the other apps, but Bet US allows me to sports bet. So that's where I do all my sports betting. You can bet on any sport as well. Use the link below, check out Bet US, and they give you free money when you deposit. Thanks. All right, I have a question for you guys. What do you guys think about this current playoff run? Do you think the Kings are going to be able to crack the top 6? Right now they're at 8th place. They're going to have to get to 6 to make the playoffs and not to play in. Do you believe the Kings are going to be able to crack that top 6? That's my question for you. Make a comment below. It helps out the channel. And as always, I ask, if you're still watching this video up to this point, please like this video. It'll help me out. It'll help the channel out. I'm new, but I'm trying to grow the channel. We're going to be doing some other fun stuff later. Also, please subscribe so you can see my reviews the day after the games happen, and turn on the notifications so you can hear my wonderful in-depth analysis of each game. Also, share the content. Help me out. Share the content somewhere. Talk mess about me. I don't care. Share the content anywhere. It helps me out, helps the channel out. And also make a comment. Answer the question I made, or comment about anything. Comment on how I did. Comment on how the Kings are doing. Comment on the weather. I don't care. Comment on anything. Thanks, guys. All right, I have a motivational quote for you guys today, and this comes from Walt Disney. All of our dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And that's by Walt Disney. And I think you know what that means. We have to have courage. We have to go after our dreams. We have to fight for our goals. Go after it, guys. And with that, that's pretty much all that I have for you guys for today. I really appreciate you joining me. I really appreciate you watching the video this far and listening to my analysis. I'm really just a Kings fan with 1,000 takes and a YouTube channel. But I appreciate you being here with me today. And thanks for joining me on the latest episode of the Kings Morning After Midday Cup of Joe with Jay. Cup's a little warm for today, but I had to refill it. It's been sitting, but it'll still do the job. And once again, thanks for joining me. Come back for the next episode, and I'm out. But before you go, check out these movies. It's good.